Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking something absolutely wild. It's a groundbreaking piece of research that really promises to shake up AI video generation as we know it. The paper is titled One Sentence, One Drama, Personalized Short-Form Drama Generation via Multi-Agent Systems. And it comes to us from Yufi Shi and a huge team of researchers. Now, if you've been watching the AI space lately, you know that generating actual, high-quality narrative video is kind of the ultimate holy grail right now. But usually, if you try to do it without a human constantly steering the ship, you just end up with this chaotic, melting mess. Well, that might be about to change. So, here's our roadmap for today. First, the AI video problem. Second, one sentence, one drama. Third, multi-agent story generation. Fourth, grounding the 3D scene. Fifth, quality control and polish. And finally, evaluating the final product. Let's just jump right in and pose the massive question at the very heart of this research. Can one single sentence generate a fully produced drama? Think about that for a second. Imagine you just type a simple prompt, literally one sentence, and what you get back is a complete, polished, short-form drama. We're talking a coherent story, consistent characters, music, and actual pacing. I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction, right? Well, this paper outlines the exact framework that's attempting to make this a reality. Let's start with Section 1, the AI video problem. Why current AI videos fall short. Look, right now, generating a short drama with AI usually relies on what's called a one-shot language model and some loosely coupled pipelines. Basically, you ask the AI for a script, and you just blindly toss that script over to a video generator, and frankly, it fails in three massive ways. First up is narrative pacing. The AI gives you incredibly weak hooks, the story doesn't escalate, and the endings just fall flat. Second, spatial consistency. This is a big one. The scene layouts drift all over the place, and characters magically shift positions every time the camera cuts. It's super distracting. And third is quality control. Honestly, to make anything even remotely watchable right now, a human has to sit there and do exhausting manual corrections at every single stage. It is incredibly labor-intensive.
Moving on to Section 2, one sentence, one drama, the hierarchical framework.
So how do they fix all that? The secret sauce here is what's known as a multi-agent system. Now, what does that mean? Well, instead of forcing one giant AI brain to try and write, direct, and edit a whole video all at once, which, like we said, usually ends in disaster, a multi-agent system uses a whole bunch of different, interacting AI agents. They each specialize in something, they talk to each other, and together, they tackle these massive, complex problems that one single monolithic AI just can't handle. It's teamwork, basically. And the contrast here is honestly night and day. The old approach was essentially a one-shot gamble. You roll the dice, it spits out a script, and a clunky pipeline tries its best to visualize it. But this new one-sentence, one-drama framework completely flips the script. It uses a structured, hierarchical process with very specific intermediate modules. And crucially, it uses iterative refinement. It doesn't just make one guess and call it a day. It builds, it checks its work, and it improves. So, let's trace the journey. How does your one-sentence prompt actually become a video? It happens in 4 clear steps. Step 1 is story generation, but get this, it's debate-based. Step 2 locks down the visuals, using a 3D grounded first-frame mechanism. Step 3 acts as the quality control, using multi-stage reviewer loops to catch errors. And finally, Step 4 adds the polish with background music and transitions. Let's really dig into these, starting with the script. This brings us to Section 3, multi-agent story generation, fixing the script and pacing. Okay, remember how I said Step 1 was debate-based? Rather than just having one AI spit out a script, this module acts literally like a virtual Hollywood writer's room. Seriously, think about a real studio. Writers are constantly pitching ideas, they're arguing over character choices, they're tightening up the pacing. This system mimics that exact dynamic. You've got different AI agents actively debating and refining the script back and forth to make absolutely sure the narrative actually makes sense. And the payoff for this debate process is huge. It completely cures those pacing issues we talked about earlier. Because these agents are rigorously arguing over the structure, the system forces strict short drama pacing. It comes up with much stronger hooks to grab you right away, it builds real, tangible escalation, and it actually crafts satisfying endings. The script isn't just randomly generated anymore, it's practically engineered. Next is Section 4, grounding the 3D scene, locking down the layout. Now we have to tackle the visuals, specifically that annoying spatial drifting problem. The researchers introduced what they call a 3D grounded first frame generation mechanism. To picture this, imagine a stage director putting little pieces of tape down on a theater floor so the actors know exactly where their marks are. That's exactly what the AI is doing here. It's building a permanent, shared spatial map of the room before it even tries to render the video.
And let me tell you, locking down that 3D ground truth is an absolute game changer. It totally prevents the background from melting and drifting around. It keeps the characters consistently positioned, even when you swap to a different clip. Basically, it acts as a stable visual anchor. So for us watching it, there are no more jarring errors where a character is on the left side of the room, the camera cuts, and suddenly they've teleported to the right. The physical space is mapped and it stays locked.
Which leads to Section 5, Quality Control and Polish, the iterative refinement. Now, nobody wants to sit there and manually fix AI glitches all day, right? Well, to get human editors out of the loop, this framework uses automated, multi-stage reviewer loops. The system actually polices itself. These dedicated reviewer agents run comprehensive error checks and targeted revisions at every single step. They review the script, they review the spatial layout, and they review the final video output. If an agent spots something wonky, it kicks it right back for revision, totally automatically.
And this is where the magic really happens, showing how this system goes way beyond just bare-bones generation. Once the video actually passes that strict review process, the system applies a final polish. It intelligently matches background music to the emotion of the scene, which, let's be real, is like half the emotional impact of any good drama. It also plans out smart scene transitions. It takes all these raw individual clips and stitches them together into a genuinely immersive, audience-ready video.
Finally, Section 6, Evaluating the final product, proving the framework. So how do the researchers actually prove this whole elaborate system works? Well, interestingly, they found that standard AI video tests just weren't good enough to measure things like story pacing or spatial consistency. So they had to literally invent a brand new testing benchmark. They dubbed it the short drama bench. It takes your standard technical video metrics and extends them with very specific criteria designed purely to see if a short drama actually works as a piece of entertainment. And when you put this new multi-agent framework head-to-head against the old, loosely coupled pipelines using that new benchmark, the results aren't even close. Where the old way gives you weak pacing and melting backgrounds, the one-sentence, one-drama framework delivers a coherent, properly escalating story with rock-solid 3D grounded visuals. Plus, it pulls all of this off with automated reviewer loops, completely cutting out all that manual, agonizing labor. The researchers really nailed it in their abstract, concluding with this quote, "Experimental results demonstrate that our method significantly outperforms existing pipelines in narrative quality, cross-clip consistency, and overall viewing experience. This structured, multi-agent approach, it's not just a minor update. It is a massive leap forward for the entire field of AI video."
Which leaves us with a truly profound question to wrap things up today. If a team of AI agents can now autonomously sit in a virtual room and debate a script, digitally tape out a 3D stage like a pro director, and meticulously polish the final cut with music and transitions, all from just one single sentence, what exactly becomes the role of the human creator in the future of digital storytelling? It's a massive paradigm shift, and you better believe we'll be watching it closely. Thanks so much for hanging out for this explainer, focused learners. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.